The Seeds were there to question even the so-called alternative. Remember, think back in time. I'm much older than you. Think back in time to people like Rush Limbaugh and Mark Levin and Michael Savage and Irish Catholic Bill O'Reilly, Irish Catholic Sean Hannity. This was alternative not too long ago, okay? Because during that time, 70s, 80s, 90s, there wasn't, all mainstream media had a left-leaning bent, so that people with right-minded values were starving and hungry. And then along comes Rupert Knight of Malta Murdoch with Fox News. Guys like Steve Ducey, big Steve Ducey, little Steve Ducey, they're all good Catholics. Right? So clearly, if you love America, you have right-minded values, then the Catholics are the heroes. Guys like L. Brent Bozell III and his media watchdog, MRC or something, Media Research Center, I think it was, still out there, I'm sure, also. So it seemed to be a paradigm I wasn't aware of at the time. The Seeds were there. I was trying to tell you until I went down a rabbit trail. I was trying to tell you the Seeds were there listening to Rush Limbaugh, and there was still something out of touch about the guy. There was something out of touch about the guy when he would light a cigar and take a golf swing, and say, as far as like me having to play how it is that oil actually is able to slice it down to 9/10 of a penny. When clearly when they do that 99, just call it $10. What am I, stupid? Okay, it's $10. $3.99 and 9/10 of a penny. No, it's $4. Okay, and then you got a guy like, well, that's just the market. That's just the free market, don't you know? And no, screw you, Big Daddy. That's not the free market. It's called an oligarchy. When you go down the street and Exxon and BP and they all have the same price, that's called an oligarchy. That's called a rule of the few, a rule of the elite. Okay, that's not capitalism. That's not true competition. So the Seeds were there already for him. As I had like I'll call it libertarian leanings, but unlike libertarians, I still had very important to me to have based values outside of whatever feels good, do it, which is kind of libertarian, both leftist but libertarian. So asking questions in the 90s, and really I was back in the military at this time, the advent of Barack Obama, and all of the big names in so-called alternative media weren't really questioning that Barack Obama clearly, all you had to do is look at this guy and his skyrocketing fame out of nowhere. Boom, United States Roman senator, boom, all the way up, running for president, boom, in the White House. Are you kidding me? Who is this guy? Where did he come from? And none of these alternative media conservatives were asking the questions. And then if you dig a little bit deeper, you see the letter CIA. I think, okay, wait a minute. Is it possible that somehow the CIA has manipulated this election? Call me crazy. And their boy is a far left community activist who's apparently like a Muslim. He did a year in a madrasa in Indonesia, and then he did 4 years in a Catholic school, St. Francis of Assisi, but nobody needs to know that. So as you dig deeper, I was finding these things that even the so-called alternative conservative media were avoiding. And so I started to throw the patented Bill and Johnny BS flag on conservative media and look for myself.